What's up, guys? Welcome back to another EVE Online video. Just gonna kind of show you what I do on my day-to-day here in Null. This is my Tengu right now. Just out here doing a hub. Usually do hubs just because they're a little bit quicker to get through. Um, I'm not running my fancy clone right now. It's kind of a mixture. It's like half the missile stuff and then like has half plus fives right now. But I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about I've seen a lot of people talking about how like they just can't make money in Null, you know, and there's definitely money to be made. I mean, I think I've made upwards to like when I've been completely set up before, I've made upwards to 3 bill a week, right? And that's just with ratting. That's not even with mining. Just having the right ship and the right skills, right? And a lot of like income scales with risk in Eve. So the more you risk, the more you go into low-sec or Null-Sec, the bigger ships that you bring to field, and the bigger targets you attempt to take down, the better the reward, right? Um, that's why I kind of like do just like Marauder, Tengu for the most part. I mean, Marauder will take pretty much everything down, ratting wise. Torp fit usually is faster, and then cruise missile is good as well. I'm not running the golem today just because I'm kind of doing like a hub income test at the moment, because for the most part I pretty much run one account, my primary account, and so whenever I look at like income based on like ratting or whether it be mining or whatever, I always base it off of the like 55 mil a day for 30 days kind of metric, because I know that if I want to cover my Omega with just Plex, then I just need to do 55 mil a day all 30 days with the Omega, and I can just literally just turn Omega right back on. And so that's the bar that I kind of like compare everything to, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now. Just looking at hub income and like how long does it take to make 50 or 60 mil, which I'm telling you, it doesn't take very long, because it's most of these rat sites will make 20 in relatively short a period of time. And then when you couple it in with like things like relic sites, I'll do relic sites as well. Relic sites are amazing to do in Null. Like I use a buzzard for that, and just because it's faster as far as the afterburner goes, and I use a cargo scanner on it, so I actually scan the relic nodes before I even like attempt to hack them. And some of those relic nodes can go upwards to like, I've seen like on multiple times a day I've seen 40, 30, 10 million nodes, and that's just all in like blue salvage. So I mean, if you export that to Jita, it's really light. You can throw it in like a crow, or you could throw it in like a crane and you take it out to Jita. Usually my trips to Jita, I stop out and I sell like overseer effects from like deity sites. I'll take Morphite from Mercoxis, and then blue salvage from the relic sites. And that's how I do like 3 bill in Null in one system. That's not doing any roams, it's not doing anything crazy. That's for the most part, that's like doing sanctums with the golem, and doing relic sites with the buzzard, and then doing Merc with a skiff, no boost. So I just wanted to like kind of talk about that, because I know a lot of people like go out here to Null and they don't end up making a whole lot. But I think that what it is they want to most people want to like, most newer people want to try to make more. They want to try to make more ISK than what their skills kind of allow for, right? And like it did take a long time, right? I'm telling you, it did take a long time to train into like Tengu. It took a long time to like max out the Marauder, right? A lot of time investment. But like once you get past that, you have a ship, even like a cheap, like you don't even have to go like 3 bill bling with a golem. You can go tech 2 on pretty much everything, and probably come out with maybe a 1.3 bill ship. And that ship alone, just doing like havens, can probably turn you 120 mil an hour. And so if you're running multiple accounts, that's pretty significant, right? If you're basing it off of the 50 mil an hour kind of thing, which is kind of the bar I set for everything.
Drive active.
And if you get really lucky and you have like or you have a lot of hubs that you can kind of do back to back to back, you can get upwards, especially the torp fit Marauder, you can get upwards to like 360 an hour if you're just kind of, you know, if you don't get interrupted with newts and you're just going back and forth. And it's usually what I kind of try to do. Most of what I do in Null anyway right now is just kind of ratting and just kind of like making ISK, doing these combat anoms. I usually don't touch DED sites with the Tengu, just because the Tengu is a little bit better on just the anom side. I mean, the Marauder can just the Marauder gameplay I just like better, right? Because, you know, you warp in and then you just, you know, bastion up and just take everything down, you know. And that's kind of just, you know, my enjoyment for it. Try to get a few more targets here. Actually, I'm just gonna go and blast this guy. And that's what it is about. Like, once you figure out the ship that can do everything, then you, like, you know, make it, you figure out a way to, like, make that income faster, right? So you don't have to play as much. Because let's face it, like, you know, even if you could make, you know, 55 mil with one character, but it took like 5 hours of mining in high sec or whatever, or even in null, that's not gonna feel very sustainable over the course of 30 days, right? My goal has always been just to, like, you know, get, you know, invest in a really good ratting ship where I can go out to null and, you know, maybe run 2 or, you know, 3 combat anoms and, you know, have enough to actually, you know, plex my account. Then it's like I don't feel pressured to, like, commit every second of my time to, you know, earning for that expense, right? That's the one thing that sucks about these rat sites is sometimes I got like 25, so I'm like, you know, kind of a half and half on my clone right now. I've got like 25 range on this, so I have to come in quite a bit. My strategy here literally is just to, like, you know, I pick like a structure or something and I just orbit it, and we're not even running the afterburner really. So we're just, you know, 25 range. We just try to get, you know, everything taken down. Normally we throw all launchers on these frigates to take them down, but I'm feeling especially lazy right now. But we can actually get one more target. These gun towers usually are my, you know, one of my first targets on this stuff, especially like stasis web towers and like rated sites. Those can really wreck the Tengu because half of your tank is signature tanking. You're kind of like half, you know, shield active shield, and then half signature. I'll usually keep this orbit for the entire thing, right? It's like what, 3 or 4 waves or something like that. But I figure I didn't really get to show too much, you know, on my Tengu fit video, and this is, you know, kind of let you guys see a little bit of real world performance, and, you know, just kind of talking about income in null, you know, for the most part. Definitely possible, and like even for mining, but the mining market is like really bad right now. But, you know, you almost have to commit multiple alts to mining in order to, like, really do it quickly and effectively. But, you know, every time you add like an alt, you know, you're adding an omega expense, and so that higher yield you get with that extra alt, just, you know, all that higher yield, higher income, it just goes straight back to omega, which is kind of the reason I kind of keep a short leash on, you know, how many alts I try to do, because I'd prefer just to have the main, and then, you know, I have my alt accounts, but they are not always plexed outright. They're sometimes, you know, I'll, you know, plex one for a month and like let them like skill up, and then I'll plex another, you know, the next month, and just kind of like round robin them for the most part, and that just allows me to kind of slowly build up their skill points without having, you know, 3 alt accounts going every month, because I don't necessarily like, you know, farming for omega all the time either. And my skill points are at the point now where, you know, I don't really get injectors. You know, my injectors are like 150,000, so it's, you know, I don't even have the option to like inject skills, so I have to like slow burn everything, and most of the stuff that I fly will, you know, tend to be, you know, rather expensive, being in like the dread and up range. So if I can just hit that 55 mil a day, then, you know, all my other income gets to just kind of get spent on whatever I want to get spent on. Yeah, some of these sites can be, you know, kind of slow sometimes. Like, I run the log and messages here just so I can kind of like keep track of, like, you know, what my ISK payout is. And this is total, right? This is before ESS and all that. we're out of range a little bit. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to like, I don't know where that next spawn's coming in at. That was the only guy that was really out of range there. So we're gonna start doubling up these launchers. That's why it was slowed down quite a bit. This guy at 26, I think we're gonna cut that launcher, and we're just gonna go in and start putting 3s on these guys just to like force that next wave to happen. Because by the time we get these 2 down, we'll kind of like be making this arc around, and we can hit this battle cruiser. Yeah. Probably. I mean, like, you gotta realize too. Like, I started off playing. Just I didn't do any ratting. All my skills were straight mining, and like I was so like trained in tunnel vision into just only doing mining. I mean, like, that's just. But then like later on, as I started getting more skills and started to see how like income was a lot more consistent, and I could get more with like less accounts, less characters. When it came to like ratting, I really started to kind of lean into it. Like, I just came out here, like I did that one before, kind of chilled a little bit, and then I came over here and I just got a 9mm tick, right? And that's not bad, right? Because like we're pretty much chilling, and do it is a port as well, and we could do maybe 5 sites, maybe like a mix of like hub and port, and you do 5 sites a day, and that's Omega. And obviously the days that you have more time to play, then you're able to actually like because like for me, I don't get to play every single day, right? Because I work. So the days that I can play more, I just go well above, like I go 100 or 150 on that income. That way I'm like kind of compensating a little bit, because that just takes the pressure off even more. In high sec, it is possible. I mean, if you're a miner, you can just focus on build spar, and that's just kind of like how that goes. Low sec's a little bit easier because you can focus on like things that produce isogen and noxium, so that's crocite and your kernite. When you refine that, that's gonna be your really good value. And then in null, it's gonna be like ice, but like a lot of ice, but like the ice value is not necessarily in compressed. The ice value is in like the isotopes. And if you can even do one better, if you can actually like take the ice you mine plus the PI and make fuel blocks, well, that's where you start making some good money too. Because most of the time, fuel blocks you'll never like export out to Jita, right? They're too heavy. The cost for M3 is it's a waste to move them. But it's null. Everybody has structures, right? So it's actually possible to. I've just built fuel blocks in null and just sold them in region, which is great. It's a good turnaround. And also, if you're burnt out from ratting or you're burnt out from mining, it gives you something to do. So you gotta mix. You gotta mix some play. Instead of just doing all ratting or like all mining, I try to do like manufacturing, PI, mining, ratting, exploration, and then just kind of balance all that stuff out. And if you do it right and you do it with the right ships and like you maximize your skills for all the ships you fly, then you become like this machine, this ISK machine that can just start churning out stuff. I think like a couple months ago, before I took a break from Eve, I was doing 12. I want to say 12 to 13. We got closing on this guy. I was doing like 12 to 13 bill a month, right? And that was pretty much just, it wasn't even mining really. It wasn't even really making fuel blocks. Most of that was just doing sanctums and havens with the golem and data relic sites and some mercoxis, I guess. But yeah, I was getting a lot of good. A lot of my DED drops. I was getting like 500. A bill. I was averaging about a bill a day in faction drops from those commanders. Another little metric that I try to do too is it's like battleships, right? Most of the time battleships are worth, $1 million on the bounty payout. So it's like, if I can just kill 50 battleships today, we'll be good to go. And battleships, don't do a whole lot of damage. I don't even have to run this booster if I don't want to, and I'll usually just ram them, just so the target. Sometimes if I'm really far off, especially with the Marauder, the further off you are, the more like ammo you can waste. So if I can, I try to just go straight to the target on these battleships, and it allows me to, not waste too much ammo. But it doesn't really matter because I've done the math, right? The bounty, if you do the right combat sites, the price you pay for like ammo, and then you shoot that ammo into a rat and kill it for bounty, it's always a profit, right? Not in high sec though. If you like buy ammo, like you buy like this ammo and then like shoot this stuff off and like, you know, to do high sec rat sites, you're gonna come away at a negative, which is just something to be mindful of. Not too bad. I like the Tengu just because, you know, it can be we can transfer it over into like a travel fit where, you know, it's got all the bells and whistles. I can do my relic sites in here. I usually don't like doing relic sites in the Tengu just because it's, you know, its afterburner speed is not that great. I'm just kind of spoiled with my buzzard. It just clears nodes. It can get from one node to the other a lot quicker, and it's just a lot more fun to fly for the most part. But anyway, I don't want this video to run too long. Just wanted to, you know, cover kind of like, you know, generally cover, you know, null, you know, income and kind of ratting and, you know, setting expectations, you know, at a reasonable level and kind of scaling your operation as you go. Hopefully I inspired some people to get out there and just, you know, start making some misc. But anyway, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.